Hi, I'm Mr. Crocker here, and I'm going to read you guys another story. Today I have Back to School for Rotten Ralph, and let's just get started, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do after we've read the story. So, Back to School for Rotten Ralph, written by Jack Santos and Nicole Rubel. Okay. Ralph had been rotten all summer long, but Sarah loved him anyways. I'm so glad to start school tomorrow, said Sarah. She was very excited. I hope I make some nice new friends. Ralph is spraying her with the hose. Being rotten. Rotten Ralph was not excited. He wanted to be Sarah's only friend. He didn't want to be left behind. He took her book bag. He broke her pencil points. And the next morning, when Sarah woke up, Rotten Ralph had turned back the hands on her alarm clocks. Ralph, cried Sarah, now I'll be late for school. Okay, so Ralph is causing all kinds of mischief. And why? Why was it? He wants to be her only friend. When Sarah was in the bathroom, Rotten Ralph pretended to be helpful. He gave her a bar of Trick soap. Oh, Ralph, said Sarah as she scrubbed her face. If I'm any later, I'll miss the bus. Good, thought Ralph. Then you can stay home with me. I'm not sure what Trick soap does. Does Trick soap put something on you or just not clean? Okay, when Sarah went to put on her new dress, Rotten Ralph had drawn his face all over the front. Ralph, said Sarah, that's not nice. Now I'll have to wear my old dress. So here he is ruining her new dress. So she's going with the ducks. The ducks look okay. When Sarah was dressed, she went searching for her book bag in Rotten Ralph's room. He was lying on his bed. He was foaming at the mouth. Ralph, said Sarah with a smile, you look strange, but you'll be all right. So there's a can of whipped cream here, and Ralph is playing sick. But Sarah's not buying it. Not anymore. Finally, Sarah was ready to leave the house, but Rotten Ralph was blocking the front door. He was covered with nasty purple spots. His tongue was striped, and he was moaning and groaning. Ralph, said Sarah, stop it. You can't trick me with that fake sickness. Then she hopped over him and ran out the door. So, striped tongue, purple spots. That's pretty bad. I don't know what it is. Rotten Ralph jumped up and followed her. He hid behind a tree as Sarah got on the bus and went to school. Rotten Ralph was left behind, but not for long. I can be Sarah's school friend, he said to himself. He went inside and dressed in some of Sarah's clothes. He packed a lunch and then hurried off to school. So, Ralph is not giving up yet. He's going to school. When Ralph arrived, it was almost recess time. Sarah knew she would make new friends on the playground, but when she tried to get up, she stumbled. Her shoelaces had been tied together. I wonder who did that. By the time she untied the knots, recess was over. She didn't make any new friends. Okay, so there she is untying. So far, Ralph's plan to be her only friend is working. Everyone choose a book to read with your book buddy, said the librarian during library time. Now I'll make a new friend, thought Sarah, but each time she went to choose a book from a shelf, a sneaky hand snatched it from the other side. Stop that, ordered Sarah. Since you can't be quiet, the librarian said to Sarah, you'll have to sit by yourself. So she's trying to get a book. Ralph is not letting that happen. At lunchtime, Sarah sat down next to a friendly-looking girl. Do you want to share? Asked the girl. I'd love to, Sarah replied, but when she opened her lunch bag, it was filled with old fish bones. Excuse me, said the girl, and ran off holding her nose. So, fish bones. After lunch, the class lined up at the water fountain. Rotten Ralph pushed Sarah from behind. She fell forward and knocked everyone down. Sarah, said the teacher, control yourself. Somebody pushed me first, Sarah explained. That's no reason to push back, said the teacher. Now tell everyone you are sorry. Sometimes teachers don't see everything. Toward the end of the day, the teacher went up to Sarah's desk. "What's going on?" she asked. "I've had a difficult day," Sarah said. "Every time I try to make a friend, something goes wrong." "Perhaps you are trying too hard," said the teacher. "Maybe you should wait for a friend to come to you." So even though the teacher didn't really see what happened at the fountain, at least she came back and tried to figure it out. Sarah did. During the music lesson, she stood alone at the back of the stage. One by one, the students took turns singing. When it was Sarah's turn, a strange new boy sneaked up and stood next to her. Each time she opened her mouth to sing, the boy opened his mouth and let out a loud meow. "Ralph," Sarah shouted. Now she knew why everything had gone wrong. So she finally figures out the source of her problems here. Everybody was excited to have a cat in the class. They wanted to get to know Ralph and Sarah. Oh no, thought Ralph. He wanted Sarah all to himself, but it was too late. Sarah had made new friends. So the plan has backfired. At the end of the day, Ralph and Sarah went home together. While Sarah did her homework, Rotten Ralph made peanut butter and jelly snacks. Finally, Sarah made a list of all her new friends, but Rotten Ralph wasn't on the list. "I have one more friend," she said, turning to Ralph. "Can you guess his name?" So he looks upset. Rotten Ralph jumped onto her lap. He pressed his messy paw print onto her list. Sarah smiled. "I made a lot of new friends today, but you'll always be at the top of my list." "I'm the best," thought Ralph. Then he purred and purred. So, Sarah's super nice to Ralph. So, okay, with that story, okay, that we just read, what we are going to do is summarize. And one way that you can summarize a fiction story is using this pattern. So I've got the title up at the top, and you're gonna have to make your own paper just like I have here. Okay, it says "Back to School for Rotten Ralph" at the top, and then this is the summarizing pattern. Somebody wanted, but, so, then, okay? And I left a little space here for a picture after each question. Like if somebody would be Sarah and Ralph, and then the other kids at school, right? So mostly Sarah, and then I would draw a picture of Sarah. Well, what did Sarah want? I think Sarah wanted to make friends, right? Ralph wanted that not to happen. So then I could draw a picture here. Okay, and there's a lot of things you could draw. You could draw what happened at the water fountain. You could draw Sarah trying to untie her shoelaces at recess. You got some choice there. So wanted, but there was a problem. What was the problem? So but Ralph, da 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 da, picture. So how does Sarah handle the problem? I think the story kind of turns when Sarah has a conversation with her teacher, and then how does it end? Okay, so you are going to do this on a piece of paper. Just write these things. Somebody wanted, but, so, then. Answer them. Okay, somebody, Sarah, wanted to make new friends at school, but, your own words. Okay, and draw a picture for each one, and then be ready to share this at community time or possibly in small group. Okay, so that's the book, that's the assignment. I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with.